So by all means, when I show this, I know how bad of a vinyl applier I am. The one and only Quinn from Speed Hero, who is just a master at design work. So I drew something on paper. He did, and the next thing you know, that came out. And it's lovely, to say the least. God bless Quinn. So this video, not really going to be based out of the garage, because instead of working on a real car, we're going to work on a fake car. I picked up yet another new RC body. I think this is going to be my 4th body that I've done. I find it very enjoyable. It's fun. Afro from AFRO-RC got this in, and it was impossible to say no, even though I tried. My brain can't comprehend saying no to a new RC body. So this is the model I ended up picking up. Pretty basic, Type X. So this is how they come in the box. A lot of plastic, and you gotta trim it out. There's some models that the front bumper is fully part of this piece, and then there's some where it's separate and you have to attach it, and you can attach it with either glue or magnets. This is a model where it's detached. So there we got the front bumper, we got the rear bumper, and basically we're gonna end up trimming all along the body and trimming out most of this, and probably leaving a couple little places so that you can put glue on it. And then I also got some little goodies for it. Obviously, Type X spoiler, Pandora. These are sick. These are actual pop-up headlight buckets. So they glue in from underneath and then actually have the ability to fucking go up and down. You can do a fucking brown wire sleepy eye mod, or you can throw them all the way up, or you can throw them all the way down. And then we got some 3D printed Ganadors. Ganadors, must on every drift car. And then these parts are the rear tail lights. So the tail lights on this, as you can see, they're flat and actually inset a bit. So this is where this part will actually get painted. If you want a realistic looking lighting setup, what you do is you drill 2 holes and you put in your LEDs in here, and then we'll be cutting these out and doing translucent red on them, and then these will get glued on to the outside to give it the actual 3D effect. But if you don't want to do the realistic thing, you just want the main car to just how it is, just plastic body, not put in much extra work, it comes with stickers. So you can go full Lightning McQueen and just slap a Cokie style sticker and everything else on it. But I like lights. Basically how you cut it out, scissors, not a good idea. Little scalpel, fresh blade. I put on a brand new blade every single time I do a body or cut anything. Just makes your life that much easier instead of dealing with a dull blade and having it slip. You just take your time, do a nice little trace, do like 1 pass with this, not cutting all the way through. If it does, some of these bodies, they can be thinner of a plastic, some of them can be thicker. If it's thin, the blade's just gonna go right through, so be careful and cut nicely. If it's a thicker plastic where the blade doesn't go through all the way, I just like to outline it, do like 1 pass, and then you can just basically break the plastic off, and a lot safer of a way of doing it. Just remember, you can always cut more, can't cut less. It's almost impossible to get a perfect body. So if you fuck up, whatever. And just gives you more excuse to just go smash it off stuff like what we do with our real cars. So let's get to cutting and stop talking. forgot to make note at the beginning. I'm gonna make note now. This has a little film on the outside. Do not peel it off. Do not peel it off. That's there so that, because these don't get painted from the outside. You can paint them from the outside, but I like doing it from the inside, and the proper way is doing it from the inside. And the film helps protect the whole outside of the body from like overspray and everything. Also, you can use it so that if you want to paint the trim on the outside, then you can cut lightly around it and peel the film off of the like the door seams and the hatch seams and everything, and then paint those black from the outside. And then you have a really nice realistic looking body line. Bumper's done, trimmed up how I want them. I'm not gonna cut out any of the rear. I'm gonna leave it as is so that it has nice support. Obviously there's the little vents that stick in. So I did cut just a little mouth so that those will sit through. Sanded down the 3D printed mirrors. She should be good. Look decent. I'm gonna give it a quick wipe down on the inside of the body with a Windex, just to take some of the oils off, and then we're gonna start masking. Most bodies, I'm pretty sure all of them, come with the masking for the windows. Most of them have lines. Sometimes the lines are not perfectly with the outside, so just double check before you actually start cutting and make sure you don't need to go like a little bit extra on the edges. And then for like taillights and stuff, to mask them, you're left over with like all this. So I usually just cut that out on the edges, the leftovers of the paper, and use that to mask off other places like taillights and headlights if you need to, but this one I won't need to. Also for the center garnish, I know Type X is usually black. I do like it when sometimes the center is paint matched to the car. I can't decide. I think I'm gonna paint match it to the car because I can always do black over top on the outside. But yeah, I'm gonna start masking. Just finished prep. Prep as in Windex and rags. Spray it down with Windex, wipe it out with a rag, make sure you get it all good. You can use like hot water and dish soap too, that also works. I've never done it, I've just been told it works. I use Windex just because I like the fact that it like dries up nicely, especially after some heat. These are the two on a nice M42 gasket set. These mirrors, spoiler, that gets painted from the outside. So I'm gonna do those last, just so I know exactly how my layers work out on this. Because like, usually when you paint something from the outside, it's like primer, paint, clear coat. When you're painting an RC body, you go clear coat, paint, primer. Completely backwards. I'm going to be doing yellow. Take your time cleaning. And make sure you have a nice warm workspace. Not very warm in here, but I got a heat gun to try and help deal with that. So get the plastics nice and warm, and get the paint nice and warm too. Start spraying. Light coats. I like doing light coats, so do light coats. So that's probably about 6 or 7 total coats of yellow. And I got a couple coats done on these, which this is just accessories. Not too worried about getting thick layers on those. So I think it's ready for white. When you do the white, that's really when you're gonna notice if you didn't paint an area that good. So hopefully this is fine. If not, whatever. Gooder than good. It's kind of hard to tell now if anything's bleeding through, but who cares? So the next thing I was going to do was translucent silver. That I'm going to use on tail lights and reverse lights. So there, and there. Where all that white is. So now that I have like multiple layers of yellow, it's looking pretty orange right now. In theory, I should be able to just spray the translucent silver right over all of that, like peel off the masking tape off the taillights and spray over it, and it should be good. So really praying that that works. So we'll try that. And remind you, the film is still on, so everything will get shinier once you take that film off. It dulls it up a lot when you have it on. So this is looking pretty on the orange side, which is better. I would much rather it on the orange side of the yellow spectrum than the green side of the yellow spectrum. I got carried away and I went upstairs and I immediately just grabbed my knife and started cutting out the plastic on the outside. So I've decided what I'm gonna do with this is keep all this, obviously like yellowy orange, and then this up here, this is without the coating on it. I cut it out, I trimmed out all around the window and pulled that thin plastic film off. And then so now I'm gonna do the black along this whole area up top. Yeah. It's not as glossy as I was hoping. It's not glossy at all really, but that's fine. So now, this is, like I'm kind of scared right now because the paint actually turned out really good. The orange, yellow, it's supposed to be yellow, it looks really orangey. So if I fuck this up, then this is just how it's gonna look. But in theory, I pull that film, it's good. It's good. Holy fuck. I got carried away, started gluing stuff in without filming. So I got the buckets in. Little flip. Little flip. That one's a little loose, I gotta tighten it up. Shoe goo. Shoe goo is an RC guy's best friend. And these are pretty simple. Line them up. But make sure you line them up good, because I did not line them up good. This one's lined up good. This one, you can see the corner is a little inwards, which is going to be annoying because for it to open fully, I had to trim this corner right here a little extra for it to get the movement. But now that those are in, I can go ahead and start gluing in the headlight covers and then everything else from there. don't know how well you'll be able to follow those steps because I am terrible at explaining stuff. I am by no means a professional at this. This is just something I like doing. Figured I'd show you. And it's not quite done. There's still small details, but this is the gist of it, basically. You know, it's got the pop-ups. So obviously you got VSKFs because that's important. It's got Ganadors. It's got the Type X wing. So basically the few other things that I want to add to this car, I do want to put a front mount intercooler on it. And then I still have to get some translucent red for the tail lights, so I can have red tail lights. And I want to do an exhaust. As for interior, I don't really care about interiors. You can see like all the motor stuff going on. Doesn't mean much to me. But pop-ups on this project was probably the most important thing I wanted to do. So I'm extremely happy with that. Big thanks to Afro at AFRO-RC, aka Grandpa Drift. He really helped me out with this one. And you know, I'm just very happy to have this body and this stuff in my life. So I wanted to build one of these forever. So I'm super glad to actually have it done. It's never quite done. But one to add to the collection. So let's go to Afro's and get some shots of it sliding.
Bring the wonders of the World Wide Web.
Are you on the internet?
Yeah. I'm on the internet.
He's on the internet. You can find him here. Just here.
I'm not that good.
Here?
Yeah, you are. No, here, I'll do the audio for you.
He'll be set up.
Yeah. Oh, do that again?
And he
Here.
used to have one of
There you go.
You just need to put some text there. There's a link.
Good luck. Here, let's just put you back in your pocket here.